If you died doing what you loved, how would you die? Hanging out with my family. Not sure what we'd be doing exactly, as there's so many activities from the adventurous to the mundane, and I'd be with them and grateful for it. I think it'd bring me a lot of peace if that's how I spent my last moments. And saying we had any amount of warning prior to this death, or really even still without, I'd hope they'd take that last memory we share and use it to keep going without me, keep adventuring, keep the mundane, enjoy the little bits of life. Because there's so much joy in them. Hiking, writing, and drawing. So either exposure, starvation, thirst, hypothermia, animal attack including snake and insect bites or stings or mechanical injury or heart attack, stroke, or old age. Of contracting some kind of contagious illness would be kind of low beyond required interactions like grocery shopping, assuming I'm making a living off of these loves which would limit such contact. Sitting on my steps with a glass of rye. Beautiful summer evening. 23 degrees Celsius. It is peaceful. All you hear is the slight breeze blowing all the leaves in the surrounding trees. Have one of those stealthy heart attacks that you don't even realize you're having. Slowly lose consciousness. Drift away. I think that would be nice. I love peaceful moments, and I love whiskey on the rocks. Laying in bed with my partner. No doubt. All wrapped up in comfy blankets. His arms wrapped around me real tight. And my face buried in his chest with his chin resting on the top of my head. Preferably while he lightly runs his fingers across my back. Every time he wraps me up like this, I tell him I could die right then and there and I'd be happy. Going to tell him how much I love him again. Drowning or being bitten by something venomous or being eaten. One of those three. I love aquatic life, and I want to spend my life learning about them and taking care of them in a huge aquarium, and I want to go scuba diving and stuff. So I would drown, get bit or stabbed by something like a sea snake or rockfish, or I would get bit and stuffed by a shark. Seriously, I used to be a flight attendant. Find an airplane. No passengers or crew on it. Means the airplane would fly itself. Let it glide into some type of emergency. I would just sit down, close my eyes and hope it would end quickly. I know, that is what I asked. In reality, a deep sleep would be the way to go. YYZ. Experience. Some of them can be rather dangerous, and I fully expect to die in some horrible accident or explosion later in my life. That's why I'm saving the really dangerous stuff until I'm older. Laying next to my wife or sitting beside her. Being in the living room with her or the kids. If a different circumstances happen, then being on stage performing with my band. I've always had a deep passion for playing guitar, bass, drums and keys. I also love to sing and songwrite. I would die experiencing. Because existence is suffering but experience is beautiful. That's the difference between a fulfilled life and not. It's easy to exist in time. But to experience is to challenge the emptiness that accompanies knowledge of existence. Fortune favors the readers. I'm quite sure less people have died reading books than of anything else ever. Although one time one of my friend's imaginary friends saw me reading a book, said, "What you reading for?" and made me nosebleed under the book. My first choice is totally an SFW. So I'll have to go with my equal second choices. Dying with a needle in my hand, surrounded by bling. I make beaded jewelry with Swarovski crystals as the focal. Would be fine. As would while reading a good book. On a paddleboard. During a beautiful day in the middle of July. Cold beer in my cooler. A stony THC vape in my hand as the house my ex-wife stole from me during our divorce burns merrily to the ground. In the middle of making a comedy video. I almost always die in the end scenes of my comedy videos. So it would be poetic. Making comedy videos is the only time I feel really alive. It would be a fitting keystone to my art. Add an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. Cause of death is that my stomach has literally burst from the sheer amount I pack down. I'm not a large person, but when food I enjoy is available, I just can't seem to stop myself. I'd either die in a cycling accident or one of my patients might kill me. I really love my work at the moment. I'm working as a therapist in a forensic hospital, so some of my patients would definitely know how to kill. 2 possibilities: death by snusney, with really big aka athletic muscular 6'8" woman. Or then I'd be driving relatively fast, potentially on track, and something goes horribly wrong. I'd be immortal. Depression or something has stolen my joy and I can't seem to truly enjoy anything. I don't remember how to connect with any sense of joy. Check on your friends, people. I like gaming and anime, so maybe I get transported into Bioshock Elden Ring Ghost of Tsushima and then end up dying in there. Or maybe my heart just spontaneously stops, who knows? Running in the forest somewhere. Yes, there are worse ways to go. Unless my demise would involve getting mauled by a bear or bitten by something poisonous. Taking photos. Given that I almost fell off a boat repositioning myself to take a photo of a bird of prey 2 weeks ago. Weirder things could happen. I'd be on a good horse watching my family move the herds to the pens. Or I'd be tied off to some shitty horn stock doing battle with angry beef. Lifting toughest amount of weights on a bar and falling over with one of the weights landing on my chest where my heart is stopping my heart. Listening some combos while programming with joint in my mouth and dick in some really beautiful woman. That would be perfect death. Standing in the river, fly fishing, probably hooking into a trout on the dry. Or cuddling my cat. Both of those are my favorite things. With my cat purring on my lap while I scratch his ears as I drift away with a smile. If I had to, that's how I would choose to go. Car accident likely. Here in Vancouver, traffic violations are never enforced and I like shooting people with 33mm in the public. Something with my kids, playing games or watching a movie, listening to an audiobook. Great for me. A bit scarring for them, lol. The best reply to this I have ever come across was, stepped on by an elephant while making love to a beautiful woman. I would die performing on stage, holding out the high note, and then be crushed by a giant ballet La Ernesto de la Cruz. I would either die in a car crash, or I would die of organ failure after drinking too much energy drinks while gaming. Imagining, creating, synthesizing, making things, especially useful things, building, fixing, repairing, repurposing, skiing and or drinking wine. How about both? Get drunk skiing so I hit a tree and that's it. Sounds good to me. LOL. There was a couple who died because they were having sex in a parked car in the middle of the highway. Yeah, that. Laying on the ground looking at the sky. After some intimate time with my so. After a day of horseback riding, hiking in the Rockies. There are many possibilities for it there, but none of them a pleasant way she goes. Watching my Padres finally win a World Series since I can't die until they do. I figure I'm living forever. Some people here want to die while masturbating or die while watching porn. I want to die while sleeping. I think it would just be a vacation. Because I'm always so fucked up and tired of things. So rest is cool. I guess I'd be doing my partner. That feels like it would be pretty traumatic for her. I don't want that. Something with I don't want her to that my favorite game. Surfing Reddit. I once saw some old guy on TV say he wished to die at the age of 96. Being shot by a jealous husband. Hiking with a blunt in my hand. Edit, I would never do this IRL. Those 2 things are wildly sacred. Ooh. Flying. Probably. Sailing. Maybe. Having sex. Having sex while sailing in the sky. Yeah, that. I would die drowning myself in alcohol and dreaming about better life. Best way to end this suffering. My current obsession is amateur woodworking carpentry. So probably some horrible power tool mishap. Truthfully, probably from my wife sitting on my face, cause eating was always my favorite thing to do. Drinking alcohol. Unfortunately, that nearly became a reality. And I had to stop 7 years ago. LOL. In my own bed, with a belly full of wine and a maiden's mouth around my cock. At the age of 80, drowning in pussy, or an overdose, Just to be clear, I've only came close with one of these before. Playing a video game, maybe an exciting match of Mario Kart or something, and my heart gives out, suffocated by a thick-thighed, chubby brunette girl. So yeah, fuck you for giving me this fantasy. In a giant explosion, or wearing a superhero costume and standing in front of a green screen, fully immersed in a video game, I'd be exploring somewhere absolutely gorgeous and just drop reading a really good fan fiction. I'm coming back from the dead just to finish reading it, petting something I have no business petting. But it's cute and fluffy, so I do it anyway. Having amazing sex somewhere and slightly intoxicated, so I didn't know what was happening. I mean, I'm on my second marriage, I've got 3 kids under 5, and I'm 52, so it's coming. Fishing, which would probably mean I drown, which is shitty, but hey. Died how I lived. Rewatching whatever I'm hyper fixated on at the time. Currently it's Husband Hotel. I will die laying on my GF slap, and that is the most loving thing that I like to do. I'd be playing in my garden with my grandkids, like Vito Corleone in The Godfather, in an accident on set. Hopefully jumping to shove someone else away from the danger. Having the most wonderful, satisfying, mind-blowing lovemaking with Keanu Reeves. China, or after, maybe, I don't know if I will go, but I hope I will. I'd die in a car accident, like racing on a track, or in a rally competition, sewing needle in my, or machine needle in my hand finger. I just hope not. Hit by a car cycling, or catastrophic failure going downhill at high speed.